Alright guys, time to check in on Marathon. Now Marathon is a game that has not released yet. It's currently in closed alpha and a lot of people tried to get in and only a select few were able to make it. If you got the email from them that you were able to join the closed alpha, please share in the comments down below what you think about the game. Because again, at this point, all we have is speculation and conjecture from those of us who didn't get to try it for ourselves. However, the overwhelming sentiment from a lot of people on the internet is that it's just not good. It's not ready. It's boring, it's bland, it's generic, it doesn't really excel at any one thing. It's just kind of forgettable. And this is unfortunate because this game is launching with a $40 or $50 price tag most likely, given that they said it will be a premium title. Not a full price title, but premium. And unfortunately, despite this closed alpha starting back on the 23rd, things are not going as well as they would have liked. So some of the opinions about the game from some of the content creators and streamers who have been able to play this game. Gathalion, massive streamer, says, I expect Marathon to be delayed. The response has been 50-50. I'm being very generous. If you don't hit the ground running with a PvP title, regaining ground in that sector is exceedingly difficult, if not impossible. $40 buy-in in an ocean of great free-to-play PvP options is a tough sell for that audience, and if the narrative leading in isn't very excited, it's a tough situation. Clean, another Twitch streamer, responded and said, the game really does nothing special. Seems like a game for, quote, everyone, but most know that these generalized titles never end up doing well long-term. Safe games aren't really safe anymore. You have to be willing to take risks and do something actually new. And again, this is where the comparison to Concord, the game that was an abysmal failure just last year, comes in, due to the fact that it was a game for everyone that seemingly didn't seem to appeal to anyone. And again, we see other comments like this from TWIS Albrelili. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I apologize. Stopping a marathon grind after reaching level 44 and almost maxing the upgrades out now. Here's my feedback thread that I hope the devs see and can get some use of as someone who has played extraction shooters since Tarkov's very early days. This is going to be a very long post. TLDR, this game is not ready for a September release, and compared to other available extraction shooters, I'd say it does significantly less than any of them in their current and previous public beta alpha forms. Another person, Myth, says, Marathon is a good, no character customization, no weapon customization, hero shooter but hero abilities feel underwhelming, stiff movement, great art style, shooting looks and feels good, bloom on certain weapons is insane, audio's nice, killing a team and looting them feels anticlimactic, try adding a storm to the game, game lacks urgency, remove the squad-based exfil, it's alpha, so I'm excited to see their full release shows off what this game is actually capable of. This shit feels like a demo and I hope it is. TLDR, this game didn't make my ass cheeks clench, not even once. And that's kind of important for an extraction shooter. As somebody who has dabbled in Tarkov, that is definitely very important. While playing for 4 hours. That is fundamentally unacceptable in this genre, point blank, period. If this launched today, I would be highly disappointed. And it keeps going. Legendary Drops a few days ago said, damn near everyone I watched play Marathon looked bored out of their minds. Maybe this is a bit esoteric, but the game is missing a wow factor. I'll play it tonight to get my own perspective, but damn, this game looks like a game that they were told to make and not chose to make. And of course, Kelsky over here says, Marathon experience. Load in, need 12 microchips to upgrade Vault, run around killing AI, no players, no microchips, extract other loot, Vault is full, forced to sell loot, level up faction, reward is more loot, Vault still full, sell more loot, repeat 5 more times. He follows that up and says, 1 hour of zero progress running around doing nothing. Now, to be fair, to a certain degree, there's a lot of that kind of leans into the extraction shooter experience, where not every raid, not every run is going to be good. A lot of times you're going to die early on, not pick the right thing, somebody's going to beat you to something valuable, and you might just be killed by, like for example, on Tarkov, a scav who just gets lucky with a headshot from a mile away. So who knows? But I think the general sentiment is not excited about this game. Then it gets better because a few days ago it came out that Marathon Alpha players are now surprised by heavy aim assist on mouse and keyboard, and Shroud, again a very popular streamer, really hates it, saying PC players would rather improve their mechanics than have an assist, and I 100% agree with that, but he's not the only person that was criticizing it. Kelsky again says, bro, Marathon literally has weapon mods that increase aim assist. Aim assist is literally an intentional design mechanic. I'm crying. And you can see right here on the Swift Shot Choke, one of the assets of this has weight reduction and aim assist. Again, aim assist on controller, as somebody who's played on both controller, mouse, and keyboard, I have no problem with. But aim assist on a mouse and keyboard is absolutely insane. And you can even see Shroud here saying in his own words, talking about how they need to remove aim assist.
They need to just remove the mouse aim assist shit, the magnetism. They just need to throw that out. I get that they're trying to balance between consoles and PCs and stuff for crossplay, but it's only going to ruin the PC part of the game. You're basically trying to like help PC be balanced against console, but you're just watering down PC. You're making PC and mouse and keyboard players basically feel like shit because you're like, hey, here's an aim magnetism to help you fight controllers. PC players and mouse and keyboard players would rather just improve their mechanics on mouse and keyboard than have an assist. And they would rather take the loss against a controller player than have an assist to try to balance it. I think that's really weird, and I think they should just remove it. I think they should just remove it completely.
Now, I don't think we can speak for every mouse and keyboard player, but again, I think that there's a certain kernel of truth to that the majority of people who play on mouse and keyboard willingly by choice accept the fact that things are going to be a little less fine-tuned per se than playing on controller where you get aim assist, but you have the options for a lot more flexibility on mouse and keyboard. Of course, Jake Lucky says Marathon has sparked a huge debate on aim assist or mouse magnetism for mouse and keyboard and whether or not it should be a thing. The game has it on by default for the alpha. That's very strange too, on by default. Luckily though, the Marathon team seems to be paying attention. Marathon devs have announced that they're removing the mouse magnetism from mouse and keyboard just days after community complaints. Again, this is a W for the team at Bungie who are making this game. Unfortunately, I don't know whose brilliant idea it was to ever have aim assist for mouse and keyboard in the first place. But here's where things start to get a little more worrying for Marathon than just nitpicking character designs and aim assist and everything else. From Forbes, you see this article that says an early warning flag for Bungie's Marathon prospects. From Paul Tassi, who has me blocked on Twitter because he's a soft little... Okay, I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. It says, I've been up and down with my thoughts on Marathon. Bungie's new extraction shooter currently in its closed alpha. I'm not an extraction player at all. Color me shocked, Paul. But I've had some good runs and some bad runs. Sticking around for the long term, though, remains a tough prospect to see. But I think there may be a shorter term problem, one that has implications for its actual launch, and I'm a bit concerned about it. Tracking the player count for the closed alpha on Steam, I'm noticing something. No, I don't care about the actual numbers at this point. Now, full stop for a second. These journalists are the ones who deflect for games like Assassin's Creed Shadows and don't tell you the actual sales numbers. They deflect for games that are abysmal and say, well, there's not just players on Steam, there's players on other consoles as well. You can't just look at Steam numbers. So I'm not surprised to see Paul saying, I don't care about the actual numbers at this point. This is a closed alpha. We know probably 80% plus of code applications have been denied. Now that's probably fair because again, most of us got denied. It's too early to extrapolate things like open beta or launch figures that will arrive in the coming months. But what I'm noticing is the trend line. The peak at launch is an obvious spike up to 7,000, though again, the specific number doesn't matter. However, Thursday night dropped to less than half that. Then as the weekend has started, Friday night lost more players and the game is approaching less than a third of its initial players on launch day after just 72 hours. If this is the case for Saturday and Sunday night, that's not great. There are two other things to consider here. First, this is happening as new players are being issued codes, so more players are being let into the alpha with at least another big code wave having gone out, but the declines still exist, and this is a very concerning thing I would think for this game. Second, if you're interested enough in Marathon to apply for a code in the first place, you're probably more prone to appreciate it than the average customer. You could use Twitch metrics here as well, as those have also dropped dramatically from launch day when a bunch of huge streamers were playing, but I find those less reliable as they fluctuate heavily based on who's online. And of course, we've seen this with Asmongold playing specific games. He'll take a game that nobody's playing, and all of a sudden it blows up in the metrics on Twitch because he's got thousands of people watching him play it. So he follows up and says, I'm not saying that based on 72 hours of a closed alpha that Marathon's going to be a big miss, but I feel like I would be remiss to avoid saying this, that this is not an ideal thing to see if this is in fact representative of short-term player interest, as that has implications for both launch and long-term interest when the game launches. I'm going to say it right now. This is a bad sign, because another game that had this exact same problem was Concord. The game that this game is being compared to due to the fact that it's a hero shooter, $40 to $50 entry in an already crowded market full of, existing games and free-to-play games. And if you just look at the trend line, look at Marathon, 6,919 at its peak 4 days ago, with, again, more codes being sent out, more people able to get into the closed alpha to try it for themselves. 24-hour peak, 1,800 people. Sure, out of this 7,000, these people are probably the ones who are still really enjoying the game, and these people might have just wanted to try it just for shits and giggles one time. But if you look at the comparable numbers to Concord, this is a similar trend. Very similar trend to the closed beta that they had. Or sorry, this was the open beta that Concord had. So, yes, I guarantee Marathon's open beta will probably have a larger player pool than Concord. No question, Concord had zero interest in it from the get-go due to the fact that their characters were absolutely dreadful to look at. Nobody cared, nobody wanted it. But this is a concern. Legacy Killer HD says, yes, it's a closed alpha, yes, players are limited, but the drop-off should scare Bungie. I genuinely think they'll be delaying to 2026. Marathon needs work and a reason to justify a price tag, and I think that sums it up right there. But let me know what you guys think about all this down below. Are you going to even be trying to get into the closed alpha? Are you thinking about playing this when it's in the open beta? I'm very curious to see if this game doesn't get pushed back because everyone's saying it needs more time in the oven, but I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.